Bonet. I just wanted to share an article that I just stumbled upon. I couldn't even believe it. I was baffled. This U.S. border guards can now search your phone and also anything that has to do with any form of electronics. So that will be your laptop, anything that has to do, your cell phone, laptop, tablets, etc. It says here, border agents can demand a password to open your phone without probable cause. The Canadian press. So this was just released about 48 minutes ago, and I said I had to make a quick video because I could not believe what I was reading. So here it says U.S. Customs and Border Protection issued a new directive that sets new limits on border agents accessing travelers' phones, establishing criteria for when they can demand passwords, conduct extensive searches like downloading documents stored in the cloud or uploading files into a storage drive for analysis. And then, so then here it says that in one of several testy exchanges during a U.S. Senate hearing this week, which is not in the mainstream media. You do not hear about this in the mainstream media. Of course, they're not going to tell you this. They're going to try to, continue to use fear-mongering, tell you that everything's sweet and dandy and how, the economy is booming. A whole bunch of, fake news propaganda. Anyway, so it says here just this week, okay, the Senate had a hearing and the country's Secretary of Homeland Security was pressed to explain a new policy that allows custom agents to examine the cell phones of travelers at the border. So they're not saying, immigrants, they're talking about everyone. Okay, so this goes for the U.S. citizen. So if you're a U.S. citizen or you're a United States, individual, this applies to you. This should be disturbing to you. Someone being born in the United States, this is quite disturbing because this is, constitutional rights that doesn't exist. Okay, obviously they're saying, as the article reads, I want to make sure I understand this. I live in an hour's drive from the Canadian border, said Vermont Senator Patrick Leahy. If I go to Canada and visit some of my wife's relatives and I come back, they, and that's, the servants, the ones who are supposed to protect and serve, the people, okay, they can say, we want your laptop and your phone and your passcode. And I say, well, do you have any reason? They say, we don't need one. Is that correct? They can do that. Welcome to America, Leahy added sarcastically. So this is what's happening. It doesn't matter if you're born in America, if you're born in freaking cross the border, it does not matter. What matters is their rules, their regulations, their statutes, and their codes, which is not law, by the way. Statutes and codes are not law. But anyway, so they can do that. That's what is happening, people. They're now coming to full force against people's personal belongings. Nothing is safe any longer. And here it says public employees should delete personal info from phones before entering U.S., says NL Privacy Commissioner. Canada's Privacy Commissioner very concerned about U.S. border phone searches, he says. And then the Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen explains some of what the new policy does and doesn't do. Some key details. Background. Searches of phones were skyrocketing. Border agents inspected 30,200 phones and other devices last year. And not a word on the mainstream media. Of course, they're not gonna, be blasting important information like this. I would think people would want to know about this. I don't know. I know I do. And this is very concerning and disturbing at the same time. An increase of nearly 60% from 2016. U.S. officials say it remains a minuscule percentage of overall travelers, 0.007%, or roughly 1 per 13,000. The Department of Homeland Security says it's necessary to combat crimes like terrorism and child pornography. And now when it comes to child pornography and these type of things, yes, I believe these guys, these scandals, these scoundrels, like I call them, these goonies, okay, they need to be, of course, busted. And these are the people that need to be put away. Yes, You know, we need to protect the children, but there's got to be a better way. You can't just go into people's belongings and request to see, you know, their personal phone or their laptop. You know, so it's a small percentage, but still. Then it says customs agents have broad power. Immigration lawyer Henry Chang notes that one of his own colleagues once complained about a search, fearing a breach of attorney-client privilege. The officer said, "I don't care." Chang says he said border guards can easily refuse someone entry. There's ways they can mess with you, he said. They can just declare you an immigration risk, detain you, turn you away until you cooperate. That's enough to scare people into cooperating. So again, guys, it's how far can these type of things go? You know, what if you are being violated? Your rights are being violated. They may not like the way you look, the way you speak. You know, discrimination comes in many different forms. You know, so when is enough enough? And then the article continues to say the new directive on January 4th, U.S. Customs and Border Protection issued a new directive titled Border Search of Electronic Devices. It actually set new limits on agents, establishing criteria for when they can conduct extensive searches like downloading documents stored in the cloud or uploading files into a storage drive for analysis. Guys, so that means they can take your personal information, upload it, download it, do what the heck they want, and you can't say jack squat. Well, you can probably say something about it and they may beat you over the head. So, you know, good luck with that. Then your password. Agents can demand a password to open your phone without probable cause. Nielsen confirmed during the hearing. However, Electronic Frontier Foundation EFF staff attorney Sophia Cope says the directive, which she calls confusing, also allows you to refuse to do so. That, of course, is not without its consequences, she says in a statement to CBC News. Your device could be seized or detained. The border agent could delay your travel or even deny entry if you are not a U.S. citizen. The cloud. Here, there are new limits. Agents can't just start downloading old files from the cloud. They can search the data that is apparent on the phone, Nielsen said. They can't use the phone to access anything that might be stored remotely. Airplane mode. Officers are supposed to ask travelers to shut off their signal. That's to ensure remote files don't get downloaded accidentally. If warranted by security concerns, the January 4th directive says officers can themselves perform the task of shutting off connectivity. And then it says here, to ensure remote files don't get downloaded accidentally, border agents should place devices in airplane mode or turn off mobile data and Wi-Fi. Travelers may want to turn off their phones before border inspections. And then, you know, it says here, advanced search. An officer may judge it necessary for national security purposes, such as cases where the traveler is on a watch list, to connect the phone to a hard drive, then copy its contents for analysis. The directive says this requires the approval of a certain rank of supervisor. And then the people who are on many of the watch lists, many don't even know they're on a watch list. And many also are people who just don't believe in the government or are not people who are will be considered real enemies. They just could be people who are not someone who is compliant to the way the laws are in America. And then you have many others who, of course, are a risk and they can be considered terrorists. So you have many types of people, all walks of life. So it's not just people who are on these watch lists are bad people. So, you know, that right there is misleading, because just because you're on the watch list doesn't make you a criminal, doesn't make you someone that's dangerous to society. So I just want to throw that out there. But again, you have to do your own research, guys. I'm just bringing you the information. You, once again, like I always say in most of my videos, don't believe me. Do your own research. Own do your own due diligence, because there's a lot of misleading information out there, and there's a lot of accurate and misleading information out there. So you have to be able to do your own research and find out for yourself. I'll be leaving a link to this article below. I got this from cbc.ca in Canada. And then it says detention. If they can't access a device, officers can detain it for a multi-day period. Detentions beyond 5 days must be approved by management. To detain a device, officers must fill out a form. And then sensitive information. Lawyers can claim attorney-client privilege, citing which specific files are sensitive, and the officer must consult with Customs, legal counsel, and the U.S. Attorney's Office to determine which files should be isolated from the regular search. Medical records, proprietary business information, and journalist notes must be handled in accordance with U.S. law, like privacy and trade secrets legislation. Accountability. Travelers can be present during a search, though they can't ask to see the screen. So if they're searching your device, they're looking at your phone, then you may have some personal photos of, your family, your wife, your husband, your children, photos that is private to you. Guess what? They can be looking at it. You won't even know what they're looking at. Again, so this is quite disturbing. Travelers must be notified of the purpose of a search. There are national security exceptions on those rights, but travelers must be given information on where they can complain. Rights? What rights? You have no rights. They're searching you. They're searching your private information, which you never want to consent, by the way. Never consent. Even if they're going to do what they're going to do anyway. It's all right. But as long as you have on the record that you're not consenting to their search and seizure of anything that is your personal belongings, and you're not consenting and it's on the record, it's fine. If they're gonna do what they're gonna do anyway. They're gonna beat you over the head. They're gonna do it. It doesn't matter what you're gonna say. Of course, there are things to prevent certain situations and prevent certain outcomes, but at the end of the day, they're gonna do what they want to do. So keep that in mind. And I always feel that we should always be respectful no matter what we're going through. If it's a situation that is not pleasant, we can be professional and courteous always. It's a matter of just knowing that whoever's doing what they're doing, and they're supposed to be protecting and serving, they're supposed to be in a position of commercial professionalism, of customer service, whatever field that someone is doing. If it's at a high level of government, low level of government, or level of customer service, there should always be professionalism. If you're doing a job, if you have a job, this is for the people that have a job. You should treat your job as professional as much as possible. I know a lot of people are not professional. They're just, they are the way they are, and that's okay. We just have to look at, we're going to get the same treatment in life. It's something called karma. So, we treat others as we want to be treated, they say. But many people treat others and don't care how they get treated, and don't care how they treat others. So it doesn't matter. So as long as you can continue to try to strive to do your best in life, that's what I say, then do what do that. Because at the end of the day, these people are going to search your documents, they're going to search your devices, and you got to, say no. That's something that, if you believe strongly that they shouldn't be searching your personal belongings, which I don't agree with, then you say no. And then of course there are repercussions, there are things that's may happen and may not happen. Each situation is different. And then the article ends in saying, I believe, well, it says here, searches must be documented with statistics kept and regularly published. Regular audits must keep track of whether agents are following rules. Okay, yeah, right. They're going to be following rules, all right? And then a traveler talks to a U.S. Customs and Border Protection official near the exit of the International Arrivals Terminal at Newark Liberty International Airport on October 26, 2017 in Newark, New Jersey. This is the photo here, it seems they're talking about. Then it says here, destruction of records. So they can destroy your records, I guess. Here it says any copies of information held by U.S. Customs must be destroyed, and any electronic device returned unless there's a security threat and probable cause for an exception. So they can destroy your personal belongings as well. It says here, so what to do? Chang offers 3 pieces of advice. Before crossing the border, delete private material or transfer it to the cloud at the border. Turn on airplane mode yourself, and finally be prepared unless you have some really compelling privacy reason to just turn over your phone. You've got to choose your battles, he said. I didn't think that we have to battle. Coming to America, being a U.S. State citizen, as a state citizen, American citizen. What had you? I didn't think we have to be, like they say here, choose your battles. Why does it have to be complicated like that? Why do we need to be searched and seized of our personal belongings? People can debate and say, well, you have terrorists and you have bad people who are going to do bad things. That's debatable. Anyway, they go on to say border agents cannot stop U.S. citizens from entering the country, even if they refuse to unlock their device or provide the password. Oh, that's great. That's wonderful to hear. Thank you. Oh, well, however, EFF says agents may escalate the encounter if you refuse. For example, agents may seize your devices, ask you intrusive questions, search your bags more intensively, or increase by many hours the length of detention. If a foreign visitor doesn't comply, agents may deny them entry, EFF says. Pin pushing, how border officials can get into your phone. Pin pushing, huh? U.S. Customs and Immigration officers use their own phones at the arrivals level at Los Angeles International Airport on June 29, 2017. Interesting. Well, guys, I just wanted to share this with you. A lot of people are doing a lot of traveling at this time of the year as well. You have many holidays coming up, and this is quite disturbing. I travel. I have not had to have gone through this type of ordeal here whatsoever. I don't plan on having to go through this, and hopefully many of you would not have to go through this. But if anyone has gone through this type of ordeal where they're now searching and seizing and doing these type of things, please, I would love to hear from you, because this is a big concern. They shouldn't be having access to none of our personal belongings. This is a violation of rights, constitutional rights. Like, what is going on here in America, huh? What is going on these borders? So maybe we can continue to see why is these type of things being allowed and people are not hearing more about it in the mainstream media. Well, I know the answer to that, but we need to wake up and realize what is happening behind closed doors, behind the scenes. They're doing certain things to take away and squeeze out more and more of the rights of the American citizens. Okay, so we have to just continue to educate ourselves and be informed. That's the best thing. That's why I love what I do. I'm a researcher, even though I own a few online businesses. By nature, I'm just a researcher. That's my passion. Being able to educate and learn myself every single day. I'm about many different topics and many different things that's going to improve not only my life, but improve the lives of others that I encounter, my friends and family, because there's a lot of things that many people are not aware of, and we need to become more aware. We need to become more enlightened, become more educated. And when I say educated, I'm not talking about the education that they're talking about in schools. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm talking about being able to get informed, stay informed, go online, do some searches. The best way I can tell anyone to do some research is pick up an item that you have, a food product, okay, and read the labels. If you have anything that's processed in a box, read the labels, the ingredients, and put in the ingredients on your favorite search engine. I use DuckDuckGo, okay, whatever search engine you use, and put in the ingredients. You're going to be shocked to see what they're doing to the people, what they're doing to the foods, to the water, to the air. Start educating yourself. Get out of the zombie state. Many people are zombies right now. You need to wake up, snap out of it. Get out of that zombie state. There's a lot of GMOs that people are eating every single day. I get it. A lot of fluoride people are drinking in the water, bathing in fluoridated water. I get it. I used to be someone like that, but there's a lot of information on the internet. There's no reason why you cannot be informed. Come on, let's wake up. Let's realize what's going on. Let's take a stand. Let's say no to these goonies, and let's really make a change in our lives and start informing and educating ourselves, and turn off the tell lie vision, because that's all it's doing. It's telling lies to your vision. Okay, turn off the TVs, get educated, get informed, and I promise you, once you start waking up and you start getting away from the things that are blocking, especially your pineal gland, your third eye, that's blocking your chakras. If you start incorporating more foods, like healthier living foods, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, like I have done, okay, you're gonna see a difference in your life that's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be life transformational, but you have to get an understanding that there's something being done to the people and in the world as we know it. And if you can be part of the change and want to be part of the change, then just know there are a lot of information, a lot of great people out here that are making a lot of videos, and you have an opportunity right now to transform and change your life no matter where you're at in your life. All right, so I didn't think I was gonna digress to that part of my video, because this is talking about U.S. border guards can search your phone. That's the video. That's the title of this video. But I just felt compelled that someone may need to listen to that message I just gave you. Maybe someone needs to hear the message that you can transform your health, your life. I did it over close to 6 years. I've been raw vegan, and it was the best thing that ever happened to my life, because I was at a state where high blood pressure, diabetes, divorce, anxiety, depression, a little bit of everything, all in the mix of it's like putting all these spices and seasonings in a pot, and so much going on. And I learned there was a growth process through it all, and I'm so grateful that I went through what I went through, because it feels like the sun just came through for me at the time in my life when I needed it the most. It was dark, but then the light will always come through and shine through for me, and I was blessed and able to transform and change my life because I was willing. I was willing to change my life. So if you're willing to change your life, you're willing to transform and commit to a higher purpose, which we all do have, is a higher purpose in life. We desire to be loved and to love others, but sometimes in the world that exists, that they're doing certain things to our food, to our water, to our air, and if you're not aware and you're ingesting and you're being bombarded from every angle. Okay, so I hope someone, I just need one person to get that message that I just gave, and maybe you can see that I was able to lose 50 pounds when I became raw vegan. I lost 50 pounds, and I'm grateful once again. It's been an amazing journey, and I love it. I'm grateful for everything that has transpired through that time when I was in a dark place, though. It wasn't always smiling, but I was always a happy individual, no matter what I was going through. But I needed to go through a dark change, a dark phase in my life to be able to see what was happening. In actuality and reality, it was all just a perception in my mind. And when I realized that it's all a perception, and I have the power to transform and change my life completely, no matter what my situation is, no matter how I look or what I was going through that in that time, that's not how I was gonna be, or how I saw myself, or how I desired to be or feel in the future. And just started, personal development. What changed my life, and I'll leave you with this. Changed my life, I feel completely, was back in 2006, I believe it was. There was a great book, and there was a great documentary movie, I call it documentary, called The Secret. It was written by a great author named Rhonda Byrne. You know, we attract what we think about. They talk about the power and the belief systems that we create our own reality through our belief system, and the power of the mind. And it was just an amazing transformational change in my life in that time. And ever since then, of course, I feel that my life has had some roller coasters, but it has changed definitely for the best. And I just want to share this message with you. So, with that being said, I hope I didn't bore anybody with this U.S. border. Now they can search your phone, search your laptop, search anything they want. But guess what? You can say hell to the no. Ain't happening, right? So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've had anything to add, like a comment, or you want to share, you subscribe, that'd be great, beautiful. If not, I thank you very much for taking your time watching this video. Love, hope, joy, freedom, bliss, peace.